Hey, it's Michael from Bay Area Hiking Guides. Give me that information, give me that knowledge to hike with confidence. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is an awesome channel to check out, especially if you love hiking and love hiking in the Bay Area, because we're always talking about the Bay Area. That's what we're based on. And from trails to tips to plants to wildflowers, all that wonderful stuff, to places to check out in the Bay Area that a lot of people don't know about. So stay tuned, because in this video we're going to be talking about dogs on the trail and a lot of the rules and a lot of stuff that people don't know about. So stay tuned. So alright, so let's talk about dogs on the trail. And it's a big topic and it's a big discussion, should be said, because I feel that it's always wonderful for people to bring Fido along, but we also have to consider the rules that go along with that. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, as well as some of the rules in other parks where dogs aren't even allowed to be there in general on the trails. First, start with the dog mess, the stuff that dogs leave behind, their poop. And a lot of people don't pick up their dog mess but on the trails. But the real big kicker that always gets me is, I would rather have you leave your dog mess on the trail than to leave the dog mess on the trail with the baggie. So you pick up the dog with the bag, you pick up the dog poo with the bag, and then you tie it all up and then you just leave it on the trail. Like, there's not some secret society or a band of fairies that are going to come by and pick up all this stuff for you so you don't have to worry about it. You got to pack it out. I could tell you about my trip to Whitney if you like. You want to talk about, yeah. It's a big concern, and a lot of people don't understand that, and you have to pick up the mess. You've got to pack it out with you. That's part of being a dog owner. And a lot of people don't understand that. So make sure that you take that dog mess with you, put it in the bag, wrap it up, and take it with you, because that's part of having a dog. Having this plastic out there, it could take a while for that plastic to break down. It could take 1,000 years in some cases. It could take even longer. And we don't want to have that in the parks. We don't want to have plastic, with dog crap in there. We just don't want to. We don't want to have that. We want to have a clean park, and there's a lot of people that already are leaving garbage behind. So that's just going to add to that, and it's not going to be fun and inviting for everybody else. You don't want to come in the spring and then see a bunch of wonderful, beautiful wildflowers blooming everywhere, and then little bags of dog mess. All right? So I think that everybody needs to consider that taking the dog mess with you in a plastic bag is the way to go. And most of these trails of the trailheads have garbages available where you can throw out the remnants of your dog waste. So it's not like the trails aren't providing any indication that there's rules on dogs in general. You can see most of them at the trailheads. So let's go through a list of some of those rules that I know the regional parks has. Now, as far as Mount Diablo goes, you can't have dogs on the trail, period. They will not let you have dogs on the trail. You're allowed to have them in the campground when it's in your possession, when the dog is in your sight on the road itself, but you cannot have dogs on the trails, period. And there's people that break that rule a lot. You're not supposed to have Fido out there. Do not bring your dog to Mount Diablo unless you're planning on just hanging out in the parking lot or camping or having the dog on the street. And that's the only rule there. They don't allow you to have the dog they won't allow people to have dogs on the trail. And you can go to their site and check out their rules. But I'm going to go through a list of rules here in the Regional Park District. This was actually off of Hemi, but that trailhead over there by the Ringcat, I can't even pronounce it, Ringcat Tail Trail. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about. Right there off of Hemi at the end. I can't pronounce the name of that trail. I can barely pronounce my own name. So 3 dog limit per person. So you're only allowed to have 3 dogs within one person at the regional parkland. So, almost lost you. Hang on. A leash no longer than 6 feet must be possession of the handler for each dog. Dogs are not allowed to be permitted in swimming pool, beach, nature study area, wetlands, golf course, or posted areas. All right? So all those areas, they're not permitted to be in, okay? Don't be having them swimming in the swimming pools that are provided, like Castle Rock. Dogs must be unleashed in all developed areas, parking lots, picnic areas, turf areas, other improved park areas, and all areas so posted. So they're supposed to be on leash. Dogs may may be off-leash in undeveloped areas unless otherwise posted, provided they are under control at all times. Okay, so let's talk about the under control at all times. This is a big thing that I'm seeing to be a bit of an issue. And I run into many people where they've got their dog off a leash, which is okay, but the dog's running around, tearing up the trail, all over the place, coming towards me, running at me, and running around. And let's say, for example, Beth, who's able to hike and stuff, but from her injury with her back, she's not the most 100% stable person out there. So she's going to need leverage and all that other stuff. Having a dog coming at Beth is probably not the best way to go, and it's not that way for a lot of people. There's a lot of seniors that like to go out, a lot of retired people that like to go out and hike. Some of them, not all of them, maybe not be the most mobile people. Maybe they might have issues with moving around and getting out there and exploring the, they don't have the most stability like some of the other hikers. Not to say they're all like that, but you have to consider that. And having your dog running around, maybe you'll have kids with you, and maybe your children, having a dog running around. Yeah, sure, okay, it might be, say it's a friendly dog or whatever, but licking your face. But it's not something that we want. So if your dog is well behaved and can stay by your side the whole time, great. But if it's coming at you, and it's licking or positive, you might not know, and it could knock somebody down. So that's a problem within itself, and we have to make sure we maintain control of the dog. And a lot of people that have their dogs, they're young, they're still puppies, they're excited, they got all this land to roam, and they could be a little bit out of control, and it can end up hurting somebody and knocking somebody down. They can slip and fall, they can lose their balance, whether it's a kid, whether it's, an adult senior, whether it's just somebody in general. So we have to consider that and make sure we have a good possession of the dog and maintain control. And if your dog's, kind of crazy going and is still puppy, maybe you need to leash the dog when someone shows up or you hear their voice in the distance. You might want to get that dog restrained for the temporary time until it is convenient. Owner handle of other dog causing injury to any other person. Animal must provide identification to the victim. If it's got aggressive tendencies, it's probably not a good idea to bring it to the park. I don't know what the state law is, but I think it's if your dog bites somebody more than two times, they euthanize it. It might be 3. So probably not going to do you any good if the dog's going around and is a little bit aggressive and it bites somebody. That's just lawsuits. It's a bigger complication on your end. Probably leave it home. Really take that into account. I mean, I know we love our dogs so much, we need to understand our dog's capability and its tendencies and its back history. So for more information, report the violations of view full road text rules, Ordinance 38, please visit the ebparks.org, and you need to help to permit the forms of regional parks. So if it's a city park or if it's a state park, you could always go to any of those on the internet and look them up and see what the rules are, like Mount Diablo, for example, and check their rules out. We actually, me and Beth, are planning to go to a state park, Red Rock Canyon State Park, and we're going to go check that out on 395. And I was going to bring a dog with me, and then I'm like, I got to check the rules. Whoop. So I went and checked out the rules and then found out that we're not allowed to have the dog with us on the trails, and I'm going to be on the trails. And then I found out that the dog needs to be in our possession or with us being in the area the whole time. So that's just not going to work. So no Fido. Always a good idea to check with the rules, check with the parks, and see what the rules and regulations are before you go out on your adventure, so you don't get stuck with the dog having to be in the car or even having the dog in the car on a hot day, which is not good at all. So check that stuff out. Always important. All right, guys. So remember, I love Fido. Just make sure that you understand the park rules and keep your dog in your possession or eyesight if it's not on the leash, to make sure he's not crazy all over the place, happy to be in some whirling land and then accidentally hurt somebody. And always make sure that he's on the leash when he's in a parking lot or area where there's heavier traffic. That's just a better way to go, better rule of thumb. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching the channel, and don't forget, like and subscribe. And appreciate all the subscribers we've gotten so far. It just means the world to me and Beth. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Have a great day.